While getting a tattoo, your skin has been pierced 50 to 3,000 times per minute. But because they look cool as fuck, us human beings still put ourselves through all that pain just to get them. In fact, the tattoo industry is bigger than ever and has changed drastically over the past decade. I know this because I've been in the tattoo industry for 16 years. I've had multiple studios, multiple apprenticeships, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of people how to tattoo online from around the world. And there's one question that I get asked all the time, usually on a daily basis. Ben, how do I become a tattoo artist? Well, if I wanted to become a tattoo artist in 2025, this is exactly how I'd do it. I'm gonna give you the blueprint. So by the end of this video, you could have a clear path to follow. Doesn't matter where you are in life or what route you go down, there's gonna be something that suits you. Level 1 is understanding the industry. There's 3 ways to become a tattoo artist. One, in my opinion, is the best by far, but you've got to have an understanding to choose the right one for you of all 3. So there's learning yourself online and becoming a scratcher, so to speak. There's getting a tattoo apprenticeship in a shop with an artist, and then there's the learning online. Let's just quickly touch on all 3 so you've got a brief overview. There's the learning yourself. Now, nobody's gonna just learn completely blind. We get references, so you might buy books. You're gonna jump on YouTube, like most people, that's what they do. So you are following some sort of guidance, but this is the problem. You're jumping around from one thing to another because there's not the structure needed to learn the quickest way. So that is the downfall with learning yourself. The other thing is, it is so easy to just rush the process and start tattooing people because you haven't got the guidance there. You haven't got somebody pointing you in the right direction, giving you the good advice, telling you, look, don't do it just yet, just wait. And that is so important. So you end up being referred to in this industry with what we call as a scratcher, doing things just from home in an unsafe environment and without the correct knowledge. Not the best way to start your career, in my opinion. The second way, the traditional apprenticeship. This potentially could be the best way to learn how to tattoo in the world, but you've got to find the correct person to give you the apprenticeship that is like rocking horse shit to actually find. You've got to find an amazing artist that you want to learn from. That person then has got to have the time to actually teach you. Well, let's think about the 2 things there. If they're amazing at what they're doing, they haven't got the time to actually teach you because they're that good. They're just rammed busy, tattooing every day, morning till night, whatever days they're in studio. When have they got time for an apprenticeship? The amount of people that used to come into my shop, can you teach me how to tattoo, Ben? And in the end, I just used to stop having apprentices altogether because I felt sorry for that individual because I was tattooing morning till night. They were literally cleaning up, setting everything up for me, watching over my shoulder a lot of time. They'd be practicing, but I didn't have the time to actually sit and dedicate and give to that person. And it made me feel guilty. So they're very, very difficult to find. And then there's obviously the artists that are not good role models. They use the apprenticeship system to basically get free labour and skivvies around the shop. I can't say that is just an umbrella over the entire industry, but I'm ashamed to admit it. It is the biggest majority. It isn't everyone. There are some really amazing people in the tattoo industry that will bend over backwards for their apprenticeships, but they are few and far between. The third way is learning online. Now, like I said, the reason why I created an online course is because I was unhappy with how I was performing when I had apprenticeships in my shop. I just thought, look, if I can record a lesson teaching somebody how to do things, they can watch that 10 times, 50 times, 100 times. It's in person, they're directly over my shoulder watching me. If they was unsure of what I've just done, said, oh, Ben, can you just redo that line? Well, I can't do that, can I? Whereas if it were a video, they can rewatch it 10 times, 50 times, 100 times. It doesn't matter how many times until it actually sinks in. So that was the whole reason why I actually created the online course. So in my opinion, the online course is actually the superior method in learning how to tattoo. You don't have to quit your job. You can learn from home in your own time. You can fit it around your normal life. You don't have to sacrifice other areas of your life or sacrifice your dream as a whole of actually becoming a tattoo artist because you can't, because of work commitments, you've got to family to support, whatever the reasons may be. And there is so many, not just mine, there's loads of online courses out there. Don't matter what type of artist you want to be, there is a course out there that's going to be perfectly suited for you. Listen, my way of teaching is not suited to everybody. I've got hundreds of thousands of people from around the world following my online courses. There's going to be some of those people that have watched lesson 1 and just think, God, Ben, what a dickhead. I just can't stand how he explains things, how he speaks. He goes into too much detail. He makes us do things again and again and again, and they don't like that way of learning. But definitely jump on, give the videos a watch, because it might just be for you. So now we've got a rough idea of the pros and cons of each. That brings us on to level 2. Tattooing fundamentals. So as I say, I would choose to learn online. The first thing that we need is the equipment to actually do it. And then the structure, the plan. How are we going to learn how to tattoo with the equipment that we've got? So first thing that we need to address is equipment. Listen, everybody overcomplicates this entirely. You don't actually need that much to get started. Fair enough, when you've been doing it years or you've been doing it a few months, you can extend on all this and get as much stuff as you want. But when you first start, we don't actually need that stuff. So I'll quickly run through it just to give you a rough idea. Simple as that. We need some tissues to obviously clean everything. Or wet wipes. This is what I use in all my videos, if you're familiar with them. Inks. We teach in black and grey because it's primarily all the techniques that you're going to use. So whether you're doing it with black and grey or colour is totally up to you. Needles. We need a selection of needles. So we need liners, round shaders and magnums of multiple different sizes, because as you're tattooing you need to get used to the feeling of small liners, medium liners, bigger liners. Same with shaders, same with mags. Don't worry, in my full course, I'll talk about that later. You can have a full list of everything that we're talking about, including all the needles that I recommend. Common sense. We need a machine and a power supply. So I use battery powered, so there's no cables or anything like that. If you're using a cabled machine, then you're going to need a separate battery pack. Mine's just obviously attached. Simple, nice and easy. It's what I recommend everybody starts with, because there's nothing basically that you need to set up or that can go wrong with these machines. What are we going to be tattooing? Well, we're definitely not going to be tattooing fruit. What we are going to be tattooing is fake skins. Again, I've got my preferred ones. I'll be honest with you, I think I've used just about every single fake skin that's possibly available to purchase, from all cheap shite on Amazon to all the top brands as well. These skins, again, I'll leave links in the description. They are the best by far. You cannot go wrong with these. In fact, on my channel, I've got a few videos that are just talking about these mats. Guess what? We need something to store the ink in, all right? So some ink cups. We also need ointment. Fair enough, listen, we're not gonna be tattooing skin, people. All right, we're just doing all artificial stuff whilst we're learning how to tattoo. But using ointment, it keeps the area clean, and it's just good to get into good habits, isn't it? You've got to get used to doing things the right way. We need to be making stencils, especially if you're finishing or following along with my course. You get all the stencils included in it, again, all totally free. Now, we're not going to be tattooing people, like I've already said, but it's just good to get into the habits of wrapping everything up. So we're wrappers machine whilst we're practicing. There's no diseases that we're going to catch from a mat. It's not a person, or we're not going to transmit anything. But get into good practice of wrapping everything up. So there's some machine wraps. This big chunk here is wrap to put all around your stations. I always say you could just work off a table like this and have everything outside. The problem with that is everything's just permanently flat, so it's unrealistic. Whereas I've got video dedicated to just explaining this, but if we use an armrest like this one, we can change the angle, we can mess about, manipulate things and make things as realistic as possible. So armrest is definitely a necessity, I think. But again, you don't need that from day one. You could get that in a month's time. The workstation, we wrap everything up. We wrap the armrest, everything. And this, what we've just gone through, is literally good enough to get started. We don't need all the fancy stencil printers and everything else. As long as we can make a stencil, we've got the mats to tattoo, the machine, the needles, inks, stuff to clean it, stuff to wrap up and stuff to keep the ointment and wash stuff down. Do we need any more than that? All right, let's not overcomplicate things. The complicated bit is learning the techniques and the hours and hours and hours of practice doing things in the correct order to get as good as we can in the shortest time possible. Let's not be adding to the stress by thinking, I need this machine, I need these. All right, just calm down, slow things down. This is all we need. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you exactly where you need to go to get all this laid out for you. All you've got to do is sign up with your email. We've just been through everything that we need to get started, just the basics. This video is just going to be, look, this is all you need to do. All right, no fancy shit, no fluff. This is what you need to do. So we've got everything that we need. How do we actually learn how to tattoo? Well, there's the option of getting an apprenticeship. They're almost impossible to find. And if you're watching these on YouTube, you've probably got that same opinion as well. The other thing is to do what you're doing. Jump around on YouTube. The problem is we're just jumping around everywhere. Line work one day, then stencils, then looking at shading, then it just becomes a complete mess. What I want to tell you to do is go from point A to point B in a structured format in the fastest way possible. Kind of like a sat-nav planning your route. We've got to have a plan. And I think personally, this is the biggest thing that is missing within the tattooing industry as a complete whole. There's not that structure until now. So I think you've got to follow a curriculum. Same as when we're learning anything, think of anything, high school, universities, colleges, everything that we learn throughout life has got a curriculum that we follow because it works and it gets the best results in the shortest time. But it's never been seen before in tattooing. Why? That's my question, and that's why I created the course, which I'll drop links, like I've already said, you can go check that out. But I like to do things in a particular order. First of all, just getting you used to holding the machine and actually tattooing something, understanding hand and machine speed and all the theory behind it as well. Then the next step from that is getting used to how the needle actually hits the skin, understanding the path that you've got to follow. To start with the most simplest form of tattooing, let's just learn how to do a straight line. We're not doing fancy design straight away. We're just sticking to the simplest form, just doing a straight line. And then there's the curved lines, circles, etc., but all following that same pattern. Let's just learn the line works, the absolute basics. And again, not doing the designs, we stick to drills. I do that for a particular reason. Stick to drills at the beginning because there's nothing fancy there to take your eye away from it. Again, like I say, you want to get maximum rewards for minimum time and effort. So doing drills, because they show every single mistake that you've done, it almost forces you to improve at a faster rate because, let's be honest, the work is going to be shit, all right? You're going to see every little wobble on that straight line. Next, we then do a design, all right? So we put everything that we've learned from doing the drills, drill after drill, hour after hour. All right, so now I've mastered that a little bit. What's the next stage? Let's just do a design that incorporates everything that we've learned so far into doing something that actually looks good now. No shading, nothing. Forget about all that, that's later. We're just focusing on lines. So we do a few designs, implements everything that we've learned. The next step is shading. Well, we need to understand the theory behind shading and start to understand what makes something darker or lighter. So pointillism or dot work is the perfect next progression to that. So that is exactly what we do. We learn it, same principle, with drills first, so you can understand what you're implementing. Same again, we then do a few designs to further understand everything that we've been learning so far. The designs are picked for a particular reason. It involves the line work, everything that we've covered, and it involves the dot work. Again, everything that we've covered. So now we've got a bit of an understanding. We've done line work drills, we've done a few designs, we've done dot work, we've done a few designs, we've done drills. Now, all right, so how do we shade? But there's shading, but there's also the different needles that we use to shade. When do we use them? What effects do they get? We've got to learn things, again, in a particular order. So we do the shading, the different methods, whip shading, brush shading, packing, everything that you can imagine to do a decent tattoo. We do that then with the round shader. Again, to understand understand this needle, this family of needles. We need to get used to it. So rather than just jumping around doing anything willy-nilly, we're following an exact program, a blueprint to take you from never holding a machine to being a really good tattooist in 30 days. That is as fast as we can get this done. Literally, from today, you could be doing really good designs in 1 month. Ignore all the haters. It takes years. Yeah, it does take years. It takes years and years of practice to become an Olympic swimmer. But in 30 days, you could go from never swimming to be able to swim. That is the aim of the course that I produced, to get you to be able to swim or to get you to be able to tattoo. So we've done the line work, we've done the dot work. Now we're understanding the shading methods with the round shader. Again, let's not run before we can walk. We hammer this with drills to understand the methods. And then I bet you guess what's coming next. We then put everything that we've learned into doing a few designs. Again, they're all hand-picked. So the designs that really focus on everything that you've already been learning. It's impossible to learn something and be a master at it in a week or a day or even 30 days. But if we're doing things again and again and again and again, repetition creates muscle memory. You are competent at doing this once you don't have to think, all right? And that is why the curriculum and progressive learning is the key. After that, we then learn all the shading methods again, but this time using the Magnum needle. My favorite thing to actually tattoo with. So we do drills again, then we do designs. And then that is where I stop holding your hand. That's the end of the 30 days. At this point, you can line, you can shade, you've got experience with the round shader, you've got dot work, and then we start touching the Magnums. It's to give you a taster. At this point, you've done loads of tattoo designs. You can tattoo, you can swim. Then it's up to you. Again, I'll put links in the video. You can go check out the full course that takes people from around 6 months to a year to actually complete. There's hundreds of lessons in there following this same system, progressive learning. Then we start doing more complicated designs. And I'll be honest, the results from people that have done this style of learning has far exceeded my expectations when I started building this course. I wanted people to go from never holding a machine to being able to do portraits, which is what we've done, but the work that they've been doing is absolutely world class. Now we're at level 3, business and marketing. You have got to understand, in order to become a massive success in this industry, it's not just about the tattooing anymore. It's also about becoming a business owner. There are so many artists now in this industry. The customer base is getting massive, but equally the amount of artists out there is getting massive as well. I see this on a daily basis. Tattooists threatened and scared, intimidated, getting in corner living room, curling up into little balls, shaking, "Mummy, please help me." There's so many artists out here now. You should not be bothered about competition if you're doing your business and marketing right. Gone are the days that we can just be all about the art and be a massive success, because now we're competing with people that are actually business owners that treat it like a business. They've got systems in place for everything, booking systems, aftercare systems, reaching out to old customers. They've got the marketing on point. You can't just rely on being a good tattoo artist anymore. I've got tons of videos explaining this on my channel. Make sure you go check them out. But I want to just give you a couple of tips now. First of all, when you're posting things, and you'll see this straight away, as soon as I say it, you'll see it firsthand. And you might even do it yourself. Look at this tattoo that I've done today. Nobody's bothered. The fast-paced internet of which it is today, people's brains are going so fast. TikTok has been biggest cause of it. Everything is super fast-paced. Instagram, another one. Not really about the reading and engaging anymore. It's just quickly scrolling through, and something's got to really jump out and grab your attention for you to even stop and look at it anymore. So putting something, look at what I've done today, is making it all about you. Nobody's bothered about you. As somebody's scrolling through, the only thing that they're interested in is things about themselves or their opinions or whatever they say or think matters. So you've got to get out of the habit, look at what I've done today, and making it all about you or the art, and make it about the viewer, the customer, the person that you're wanting to engage with. So what would you add to this design? It sparks curiosity. It gets them thinking, well, I'm a bit of a nosy twat. I don't know this person or even the person that's had the tattoo, and I ain't got any tattoos, but I've got an opinion and I want to give it. This is how people's mentalities work. The amount of stuff I put on my socials, and in all fairness, I get artists jumping on there, I disagree with you, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and I think, thank you for the comment. Thank you for growing my business. I appreciate you. And they're thinking that they're getting under my skin, but they're not. I put things on purposely to cause a bit of a stir because it gets my engagement up. It is part of my marketing. So it swings and roundabouts. You've got to put things on to spark curiosity, not always in a negative way. It can be done in so many positive ways. Another little tip is don't just be putting things about the tattoos on. So not just about the text that goes with it, look at what I've tattooed today, but I mean in general, it's not just about the tattoos anymore. People purchase from people. Who are you? What do you do in your spare time? A little bit behind the scenes. If you go out for a nice meal with family. Now you might be thinking, yeah Ben, but what's that got to do with the tattooing? That's not going to bring more customers in. Wrong. It does bring customers in for a simple reason. I'll give you a really good example. I'm a dad, I'm a family person. I've got kids, I go out on family days, we all go for family meals, etc. So if I'm scrolling through and I'm wanting a tattoo and I see an artist that I know is local and I see they're going on a nice family meal out and they've put a post on family meal out with kids, I can relate to that person. The week after I see something else that they've posted from behind the scenes and it makes him more relatable, I feel like I know that person. Now there's a lot of people in today's age that get anxious, anxiety. It's a massive thing now. They don't want to just walk in and approach people. So making people feel like they know you before they've ever even stepped into the shop and feel comfortable around you is massively important in business. So putting little things on outside of the tattoos creates rapport with your customers before you've ever even spoke to them. They feel like they know you as a person. They can relate to who you are. That makes them want to use you as a person, and then the ability of your tattoos makes them want to come to you for the art at the same time. A quick message to everybody that signed up to the membership program. Without all of you guys, this channel just would not be possible at all. So thank you. And we've got so many big plans for the future. So if you want to become a part of it and help the channel grow, and also get 2 exclusive follow along tattoo lessons every single week, plus a load more cool free stuff just chucked in there willy-nilly. It's just $14.99 a month, thereabouts, for literally as long or as little as you want. But I'll be honest with you, it's the thing that really helps us keep making these videos for you. So if you do want to be a part of it and help, check the link in the description. Thank you. Next is level 4. This is kind of the icing on the cake. Once you've got the formula that works, you're actually a tattoo artist, you're doing your business and your marketing right, the next thing, where do we go from there? The sky is the limit, but without a plan, without a detail, look, this is where I want it to go, you're never gonna get there. Do you want to just be a massive solo artist, build your reputation, have customers coming from all around the world? Is your goal to be one of these artists that jumps on planes every week, going to different countries, guest spotting or tattooing in luxurious parts of the world? Where do you want to take your business? Because if you don't have it writ out in front of you as a dedicated plan, look, this is where I want to take it, how on earth are you supposed to ever get there? Do you want it so you've got 15 artists working for you, where you're taking a percentage of each of them? And theoretically, if you wanted to, you wouldn't even have to work, because you're earning that much money from all these artists. You're then just doing it for the love of it. If you're an artist and you're watching this and you're actually at that stage, you're really good at your job, you're a great tattoo artist, you've been going possibly a couple of years and you feel like you're almost plateaued. Ben, I've really been trying. I look at the other artists, the other shops are growing, why is mine not? Listen, I've got a detailed accelerator program. It's 14 weeks long. This is not a sales pitch by any means. I just wanted to bring it up whilst the video were rolling. These cameras are going, so I thought, look, this, for anybody that's serious, how can I help you? Well, like I say, I've got a 14-week plan. The very first week, we create the business plan. Where do you actually want this to go? Where are you? Where do you want to be? Then we can create the fastest plan, the fastest route to get you there. I cover everything from what types of posts to put on, how to run effective ads, competitions, how to maximize your business from every single part of the customer journey, which is something that 99% of artists never even focus on or even understand in first place, never mind focus on it. I cover everything. It is game changing, and every single person, 100% of people that have been through the 14-week program have got incredible, mind-blowing results. It has been bulletproof so far. We haven't had one failure story as of yet. I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that thinks, right, I want to purchase a course and then just fuck it all up. But touch wood, we haven't had it yet. It's an investment into your future. But if your dream is massive, I want to help you get there. So definitely go check that out. There'll be links in the description. One of the things that's massively important, whether you're at level 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever level you're at, is understand the level that you're at. Where are you within this journey? What phase are you on? Because if you try rushing, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. If you're right at phase 1, just notice that, make the decision. How are you wanting to learn how to tattoo? If you're at phase 2, all right, so I'm getting all stuff, I need to follow a curriculum. I'm more than happy to help you. If you're at stage 3 or 4 and you're ready to start growing your business, you've got to identify where you are within your career to maximize and get you to that next level. I know that there's been quite a lot in this video, so if you have got any questions whatsoever, add them into the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We've got tons of other videos on channel. Make sure you go watch them as well. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.